God damn it. People keep telling me, I don't know why. I'm assuming the route is near its end. I still feel like there's like a lot to go, but people keep fucking telling me, Scott, you gotta do the bad end. Scott, do the bad end. Why you guys want me to do the bad end? Fuck you guys. No. So what's gonna happen is, I already said this at the start. At least I think I did. Oh jeez. But I said that with every route, I'm just gonna do one ending for the fucking YouTube itself, and then I'll go back and do the other one on my own time, be it good or bad. So rip you guys if we get a bad end, even though apparently that's the one you all want to fucking see. I don't know what the bad end's so fucking great about the bad end, but if that's the one I get, that's what I'm doing. But I feel like I'm pretty good at figuring things out with with this game. As much as I don't want to be. But we're back. We're fucking back. I just feel weird. It's been like 5 years since I fucking... This is one hell of a story. Yeah, it is. That's the words of a wise man. And by wise man, I mean, you know. I raise my eyes from the diary, reflexively staring up at Amane's face. Her eyes are downcast, her mouth twisted sorrowfully.
ねえ、ユージは孤独って知ってる？
Cockroaches. So we're getting, yeah, I was kind of wondering, why her name was that, but I pretty much figured it out. From what I've read about them, they're incredibly durable creatures. They can last a few weeks without food and sometimes cannibalize each other. Mm-hmm.
私はね、毒虫を詰め込んだ壺の中から生き残った最強最悪の毒虫なのよ。
No, Konski case for life for you, even though she's totally not dead. I'm 100% convinced at this point. 100% convinced. I can't find anything to say. Isn't that how we sparked this? We literally just asked her why her her fucking nickname was Cockroach. And then we got this. I'm so sorry. That must have been terrible. I've gone through something similar myself. The comparison would be unfair. The paths we followed to that point were far too different. Even so, I understand. Thrown abruptly into a rain-soaked hell without adequate food, unable to imagine what tomorrow will bring. Your physical and emotional strength are slowly whittled down. The ones wobbling on their feet have a week. The ones sitting 5 days, the ones laying down 3, the ones that can't speak 2, and the ones that can't blink will be dead before the sun sets. At some point, you've lost the energy to dig graves for your companions. You sleep next to rotting corpses of your friends. Hell on earth. Precisely because I understand, I have no words to offer her. Oof. I seek refuge in the tattered diary in my hands. Oh, don't tell me we're going back. I don't want to go back. Son of a bitch, we're going back. Alright, well, at least it's afterwards. Returning home as the only survivor of that horrific incident. My reception wasn't what you'd call gentle. The media widely discussed the incident and its miraculous survivor, spicing up their articles with a barrage of thoughtless and downright cruel speculation. While never publishing my actual name, many twisted their limited information to suggest my survival had come at the cost of my humanity. I was the social problem of the hour. Dude, she and Konski were the only ones that didn't eat meat. People meat. When I returned to school after recovering my physical strength, a classmate thrust a weekly magazine in my face. It was open to a gory photograph of the crash scene as if it had been discovered. Hey, this corpse. This is Hiroka-san's face. I said son. Hiroka's face, isn't it? Poor girl. So tell me something. Why were you the only one who survived? Everyone else died. Why are you the only one who came back? Because someone made the ultimate sacrifice and, ooh. Of course, at that age, the gruesome and bizarre have an irresistible pull. At first, the words might have been nothing but curiosity, carrying no ill intent. At first, they might not have even realized their own casual cruelty. Dude, if someone was in that situation, I probably wouldn't even ask. 2 minutes, that's like too personal and too, like, fucked up to actually talk about, I feel like. But the first question opened the floodgates. Soon the entire class was hurling questions at me, mostly for their own amusement. Hey, you ate them, didn't you? Fuck you! Base speculation always runs along predictable lines. It's more interesting if she ate them. Therefore, she ate them. Better the titillating fiction than the complicated truth. Ate her friends and came back like nothing happened. How can she live with herself? Makes me want to puke. Fuck you all. I wouldn't have done it in a million years. You have no idea what I've been through, you motherfuckers. Some things are more important than staying alive. I'd rather starve to death than eat someone. Why doesn't she just kill herself? Listen, just seeing her face makes me lose my appetite. God, I hope she transfers soon. God, I hope you die. Soon they spoke with undisguised hatred. I hope you die and I get to eat you. We didn't eat anybody. My denials fell on deaf ears, and I even stopped trying. In their eyes, I was a cockroach, a vicious, durable insect. Inside the confines of the killing jar, I had consumed my own kind to survive, and now I had crawled back to safety all alone. It quickly became impossible for me to attend school normally. Before long, a special classroom was prepared for me to study alone. The administration's attempt at resolving the problem was half-hearted and passive. Essentially, they isolated me from my classmates, leaving my former homeroom teacher to take care of any problems that might arise. But since their main concern was minimizing further disruption, the choice made sense. And fortunately, that teacher was a kind woman who offered me warm encouragement. It's alright. As long as you're alive, you can start again. As many times as it takes, I'm here for you. I'll be here as long as it takes, so please keep trying, okay? Her words pulled me through some of the darkest days. She was right. My survival had come at a cost of many, many sacrifices. I had to keep going, for the sake of those who had died, and for the people who still believed in me. But eventually, I was made to realize those innocent thoughts were founded on nothing more than childish naivety. Half a year after the incident, I moved up to the next grade in a new homeroom, and the teacher who treated me so kindly abruptly stopped her little therapy sessions. Her attitude changed. The sympathy left her eyes. In the end, her kindness had been nothing more than the professional mask of an adult doing her job. That realization hurts me more deeply than any of the other lies and insults they ever had. Well, fuck her too! After yet another day of isolated misery in an empty classroom, I returned home to find the words cockroach nest scrawled in huge letters across the side of my house. Hey! It's vandalism! I'll kill you! I'll eat you! Dude, I'd be using that threat all the time. No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. My mom was crouched beside the graffiti with a bucket and a brush, tears in her eyes as she desperately tried to clean it off. Her teeth were tightly clenched, as if to keep the sobs inside. They'd made her cry. They'd made my stout-hearted mom weep as miserable as a child. Hit by a wave of inexpressible, overwhelming sadness, I fell to my knees on the spot. Is other people's misery really that much fun to you? The reality had nothing to do with it. They weren't even trying to look at the truth. All they wanted was an interesting story, and my suffering seemed to be highly entertaining to them. I could endure the slander and abuse, but at this rate, I would end up becoming a blight on my own family. I simply couldn't take it anymore. Oh, what did I survive for anyway? This? If I just died with everyone else in the valley, none of this would have happened. I wanted to return back time. I wanted to go back into that ravine, to redo it all from the start. I could see in my future, so I fantasized about the past. Even so, I resigned myself to the present. I accepted the ridicule and those around me. I'd stepped over the bodies of my friends to save myself. Surely I needed punishment for that. No! Of course, no one was going to object to my suffering. It was the least I deserved. I could prostrate myself weeping in front of my friends' graves all I wanted, but no one was going to forgive me that easily. Until I had suffered more than those who had died, no one would approve of my continued existence. This was my punishment for surviving. Feels bad, man. I accepted it. I knew that I couldn't accept clemency, but even so, I desperately needed someone to give me the hope that it might end, that someday I might be forgiven. Self-loathing was my only means of atonement, and it was a feeble counterweight against the sin I was committing with every breath I drew. I was gradually driven into a corner. How wonderful would it have been to run from it all, to shed the weight of what I've done. You didn't... But the punishment for surviving was impossible to escape. I had no choice but to bear it. I tried to be strong. I tried to act cheerfully in the face of it all, but it was so very hard. The slightest smile on my face would inspire condemnation. I'll be condemned! How can she laugh after what happened? If I ran away from their words, they'd condemn that as well. Lose-lose situation. My sin would never fade, not for all eternity. Oh, don't take me back. Every once in a while, I dreamed at night. Always the same nightmare. The same place, the depths of the hellish jungle. In the gloomy forest, the girls of the basketball club sat at the roots of trees, still and quiet. One by one, they slowly died. The corpses lay against the trunks of trees, swelling up with gas like gruesome balloons. Their faces had been bloated from the start by their severe malnutrition. Soon it was impossible to tell where their eyes had been. Please stop making me be here. Eventually, their mouths creaked open, and the gas inside their bodies began to leak out into the humid air with a sound like a ghastly moan. Before long, those faint sounds would become voices. Amane, Amane, help me. Amane, I don't want to die. Amane, it hurts so much, Amane. What do you want me to do about it? Why only you? Why, Amane? Why won't you help me? Hey, Amane! I'd lost count of how many times I'd woken up screaming in the middle of the night. Going to sleep had become terrifying. I feel like you wouldn't be able to sleep easily after that, too, so... But even awake, I could hear the voices whispering in my ear. The voices of my friends calling my name. When I turned back, there was no one. Even so, I heard the whispers, constantly. The doctor's diagnosis was schizophrenia. Oh boy. Asleep or awake, someone was always cursing me. My guilt was ever present, crushing. I had no refuge. In time, I lost the ability to distinguish between reality and my dreams. Even awake, I screamed at phantoms. One morning, standing on the train platform, I was shoved from behind by a figment of my own imagination and fell hard onto the track below. Uh-oh. I understood perfectly well that my own accumulated guilt had given me that push, but knowing did me no good. Sometimes I thought about just dying, but I couldn't commit suicide. If I took my own life, I'd be branded for all eternity as a coward who fled from the punishment her actions had earned. Maybe someone would be so kind to kill me instead? No! A random, violent death at another's hand might as well be my only possible way of salvation. If someone killed me, I could escape without having fled from my responsibility. If someone would only punish me. Stop it! Yes, that was it. Every time someone harassed or tormented me, it felt as though the weight of the sin on my shoulders grew a little lighter, not tighter. If I could live my life entirely for someone else's sake, maybe someday I'd be forgiven. But for that role, I needed someone who would punish me for the sin of surviving. So that then when moments of happiness found me, when I laughed, I could simply offer a silent apology to the dead. I needed someone who would give me an excuse for when the voices whispered in my ear. I needed an answer to their resentful curses. See, I'm getting exactly what I deserve. I absolutely needed that. In the end, I wasted 6 years of my life waiting for someone who could bring me that hollow, self-serving comfort. Oh boy. Oh, thank God.
そんな時、私に罰を与えるのにふさわしい男が現れた。私を助けるために自分を犠牲にした風見和樹。
Yep.
その風見和樹の弟、遺族、 それがユージだったんだよ。
And then I showed up. Lord.
ずっと黙っててごめんね、ユージ。私はね、あんたのお姉ちゃんを犠牲にして生き残った惨めな卑怯者なんだよ。
Here's the
ご
thing.
めんなさい。
Amane, settle down. Yuji's not gonna, like, hold that against her. At least I feel like he won't. Like, he'll probably do something like, oh, well, like, he's not, he's not gonna just hate her or anything, if you get what I'm trying to say. At least I feel like he's not going to. Still staring into my eyes, Amane sniffles miserably. I see. My body feels as stiff and wooden as the words coming out of my mouth. It takes all the effort just to nod. I understand. Some sins can never be forgiven. No matter how many times we apologize, the dead can never come back.
ずっと言おうと思ってたんだよ。謝ろうと思ってた。でも言えなかった。私ね、事故の後一度だけ和樹の家に行ったことがあるの。家族の人には本当のことを全部話そうって思ってた。信じてもらえなくてもひどく責められても構わない。でも一言謝りたいってずっと思ってた。でも和樹の家には誰もいなかった。
At that point? Yeah.
近所の人に話を聞いたら、1年も前にご両親が離婚されて、それからずっと空き家だって。離婚の原因は和樹が事故で死んだからだって聞かされた。
Well, she was like that glue that held us all together. As much as Yuji talks about her.
私がユージの家族をめちゃくちゃにしちゃったんだって、そう思ったら怖くて言い出せなかったんだよ。
I mean, it's different if she literally, like, I don't know, was like, here, take her! Like, with Kazuki, and then, like, you know, sacrifice her that way. This is, like, totally different. Completely different. True enough, Kazuki's death had been the catalyst to my parents' divorce. But what came after? The real disintegration of my family? That was inevitable. My father's death and my mother's suicide were inescapable. Fated events. Amane had nothing to do with any of that. And either way, making her into a scapegoat won't change the past.
だから私がユージと初めて会った時、私は思ったの。私がユージからお姉ちゃんを奪ってしまったのなら、だったらせめて和樹の代わりになろうって、そう思ったの。
Everything's coming up Millhouse right now.
私なんかじゃ和樹の代わりにはならない。そんなのは私に都合がいいだけの逃げだって、そう分かっていても他にできることなんてなかった。だから何を言われても逆らわない、優しいお姉ちゃんになろうってそう決めた。ユージが望むなら何でもしてあげようって思った。キスされるぐらいどうってことない。それ以上望まれても断るつもりはなかった。何をされても絶対に文句は言わない。ユージが望むなら何でもしてあげようって思った。別に処女をあげるぐらいどうってことない。どうせ一度は諦めた命だし、和樹の代わりに生き残った命だもん。私はユージの本当のお姉ちゃんじゃない分、本当のお姉ちゃんにはできないこともしてあげようって決めたの。
hold on, Amane. I want to make sure I'm clear on something. In other words, you approached me out of a sense of responsibility, not any romantic feelings. That's how I'm seeing it. I'm not gonna get angry about it at this point. Give me the honest truth. Come on.
正直に言うとね、別にユージのことは嫌いではないけど、好きというほどのめり込んでいるわけでもなかった。
Okay. At least she's honest.
そんな大して好きでもないような男に好きなように抱かせてあげて、都合のいい女でいてあげるのが私の罰だって、そう思っていたし、その程度生き残った罰としては全然軽いと思ってた。
Oh, you just stop it. Just.
それでもユージに抱かれると少し気分が軽くなったの。ユージに抱かれるたびに、ユージの欲望を満たしてあげるたびに、私は自分の中の罪が軽くなっていくような気がしたの。私にとってのユージは後ろめたさを埋めるための道具でしかなかった。
Ooh, that line hits. I see. A convenient woman like that is obviously too good to be true. Yep, we did say that. So this is the source of that unease I can never manage to shake. This is why I couldn't get rid of that lingering doubt, always squirming in the back of my mind. I don't know many women prone to falling in love with virtual strangers. Over time, I'd halfway convince myself Amane was just a special case, but as I suspected from the start, there was something else behind all that.
でもね、こんなこと言ってもきっと信じてくれないと思うけど、私ユージのこと本当に好きになっちゃったんだよ。
Okay, well, listen. You didn't lie to us. You just withheld information. That's different. Okay, mate. Okay. Lying.
私はもっと鮮烈な罰が欲しかったから、セックスの回数も増えたし、過激なことにも自分から挑戦した。でもね、いつの間にかユージに抱かれることで幸福を感じるようになっちゃって。それじゃダメなんだよ。それじゃ罰じゃなくなっちゃう。
So, what are you exactly saying here? I don't like where this is going.
気がつけば沈静化していた悪夢とか幻覚とか幻聴がまた復活して、みんなが私を責めるんだよ。またお前だけ幸せになるのかって。
I don't know how we're gonna resolve Amane's issues from this, because this is like super fucking deep-seated, but I'm sure we'll figure something out.
もっとずっと強い罰が必要なのに、これ以上ユージを好きになっちゃダメなのに。どんなに好きになっても私の行く場所にユージを連れてはいけない。私一人で行かなければいけないのに。もうこれで最後にしよう。本当のことを打ち明けてこの人とは別れようって毎回そう思うのに。次の日の朝に目を覚ませば、もう一日だけ明日になったら別れを切り出そうって思うようになって、いつの間にかずるずると。
Even after hearing all this, you really think Yuji's gonna let this slide? I don't think so.
怖かったんだよ。何度もあんたのお姉ちゃんを見殺しにしたのは私だよって言おうと思った。そう口にしてしまいたかったのに。でもそれを口にすればきっとユージは私の前からいなくなる。きっとユージは私を孤独から生きて戻った不吉な女と蔑んで、あんた食ったのかってバ 化け物でも見るような目で私を見るに違いない。そう思ったら怖くって。
You clearly don't know us well enough. No. Oh.
どんなに謝っても私が見捨てた和樹は生き返らない。
Oh, I'm predicting she's coming back. I don't know how or why or where, but she's probably gonna come back. Probably not in this game. That's probably a guarantee. But actually, probably not the next game either, because that one's all about Yuji and his past. Third game? I don't know. I hope she's alive. That's all I'm saying.
だからごめんね。
You gotta stop apologizing, Amane. So in other words, she went in reluctantly, but now she's pretty much enjoying herself. In the first place, why are Amane's romantic feelings the first thing on my mind here? My sister, my family, all that is just a messy, ugly pain in the ass. In the end, I think I'm much more concerned about what comes next. Because you gotta deal with what's next now. What happened, happened. At times like these, the fundamental strategy is to hear out the woman's story and throw out in a few vague responses here and there, but I think I may need to say something pretty soon.
ねえ、ユージ。
She keeps talking, and we're literally just sitting there, probably with the Yuji face on, like just, yeah.
私を殺してくれない。
The fuck? No. You kidding me? Say what now?
私はこんなことでしか罰を受けられない。こんなことでしか許しを得られない。だったらもうユージに殺してもらうしかないの。ごめんね。
Yeah, cause we're really gonna fucking do that. There's no way. No way for that. What the hell are you talking about, woman? Have you gone soft in the head? He just slapped her. You expect me to kill someone who squeals like a piglet over a single chop to the head? Don't make me laugh.
ごめんね。
We just bapped her. And that's another thing. Stop it with the damn I'm sorry, will you? I can't stand that phrase. Those were the final words my mother left me before her suicide. Utterly empty, barren words of surrender. Every time I hear that phrase, I remember myself the way I was. I remember my failure, my inability to act, and my chest throbs painfully. First off, don't try to mimic Kazuki, alright? I only had one sister, and she's gone now. Except maybe not. Because... Was there a body that was found for her? Or was everyone else... Or what? Do you enjoy ripping open my old scars or something? This I'm sorry course of yours is putting me in a lousy mood. I'm telling you to stop that, idiot. I mean, weren't you Kazuki's classmate? Didn't she ever tell you to not say sorry so damn much? Yup. Yeah, she did. Very well then. Allow me to increase your repertoire of phrases. You mush-brained parrot. Repeat after me. Thank you.
ありがとう。
Every time you feel a sorry crawling up out of your throat, change it to thank you before it gets out of your mouth. That's your punishment. That's weird. Don't even think about dropping your apologies on me. Arbitrarily deciding you'd been forgiven and flying off into the night. Got that?
私バカだからよくわかんない。どういうこと？
You really are a dim-witted woman, you know that? Ah, god damn it. How am I supposed to explain this? Christ, I'm just as dim-witted. Let me think for a while. You're a distraction, woman. Go sit on your heels and reflect on your idiocy. I'm gonna get to my thoughts together.
正座で？
Sit! To be honest, so much just got dumped on me at once that my head can't keep up. What am I supposed to think about all this? First, there's Amane's past. Not to put too fine a point on it, but I just don't give a shit. From what I read in the diary, she did nothing wrong. Exactly! That's what I figured he'd think. Kazuki's decision was understandable. I probably would have done the same thing in her place. Actually, Yuji would have killed everyone. But other than that, if well, as he is now, if anything, Kazuki's at fault for enjoying that nice heroic death. There you go! Leaving all the messy, angsty business of surviving to her friend. For one thing, I'm still not fully convinced Kazuki would die as easily as that! Even the fucking Yuji thoughts tell us she is totally alive. Totally, 100% alive. There's all this foreshadowing based on what these characters keep fucking telling me. She is totally alive. Even Kazuki herself told us that she would not die this way. Or not die this way. She wouldn't die so easily. Come on. Come on. Ugh. But either way, that's not the problem. The past is the past. Nothing can be done about that now. You could spit out as many what-ifs and if-onlys as you want. But unless you're using them as a reference for next time, it's a meaningless exercise. The only thing that matters now is what we do next. Amane! Amane! All said and done. You do love me. You do love me, yes? Confirm or deny, right now! Ah? Okay, you almost fucked up. Very well. Sit! Amane says she loves me. I like how we're like, I imagine we're like sitting there, and like, she's literally in front of us, and like, when we call her name, she like stands up, and then we're like, alright, we're done with you, sit your ass back down. Now we're back to the sitting down. Her sitting down. We're sitting down too, I imagine. So how are my own feelings on the matter? I've thought about them over many, many times. I'm pretty damn sure by now. I love Amane. I'm a bit ashamed to say it, but on a purely practical basis, I doubt there's another woman in the world as convenient as her. Then again, is that really all there is to it? As I folded my arms in thought, I find my eyes have come to rest on a beautifully folded work uniform. My job is pretty rough on the clothes. They snag on thorny bushes, rip against walls, and drag along the ground. More often than not, I come back with a number of holes in my uniform. It was only a few days ago that I realized those holes had been repaired. Out on a job, I'd happened to glance at the elbow of my uniform, where a torn seam had been neatly stitched back together. A colleague, noticing as I stared at the careful needlework, asked, "Your wife sewed that up for you?" And the words, "Guess so," slipped out of my mouth. Startled by my own reply, I thought long and hard about what Amane was to me. While wearing the clothes she'd mended for me and stuffing my mouth with the lunch she'd packed for me, I pondered the matter. What about Amane had I fallen in love with anyway? Her looks, true, she was definitely an attractive woman from every angle. The long hair and nice scent didn't hurt either. Maybe because she was so willing in bed? Another definite plus. Amane never complained and she was up for anything, anytime. But neither of those had much to do with it, really. I can't express it too well, but for example, the way she mended my clothes without a word, and the lunch she always packed for me. Right, to summarize, she always did so much for me. Amane devoted herself for me. To me. For a boring man like me, she did all that without even being asked, and that made me happy, simple as that. Even if Amane had been unbelievably ugly, I would have fallen for her. There you go. By the same token, whatever happened in the past, I'm not going to stop loving her. That feeling isn't going anywhere, no matter what. Yeah, nothing. Shut your trap. I'm still thinking. Oh, God damn it. Still sitting ramrod straight on her heels, Amane's face droops like a pouting puppy given the command to wait. Watching her comically forlorn expression, I move on to consider the final problem. I could simply tell her, "You're forgiven," on the spot, but there's no way that would resolve this issue. No, not really. If anything, my forgiveness might well inspire her to go looking for a new punishment, driving her erratic, even dangerous behavior. In that case... Alright, Amane, it's been decided. On your feet, come on.
ちょっと待って。足がしびれて。
I said on your feet, woman! What are we gonna tell her? Right then. I'll help you. Up, here you go, here you go.
ありがとう。よいしょっと。それで、私はどうすれば。
I've thought this over pretty carefully. But let me make one thing clear first. I don't intend to take pity on you because of your past. Everyone has a regret or two. It's a natural part of being alive. That said, I also understand yours is a particularly complicated, painful one. Telling you to forget it or don't worry about it would be a wasting breath. Remorse that deep isn't just going to stop tormenting you. You might well end up carrying it on your own shoulders for the rest of your life. And this idea that your current good deeds can somehow redeem you for what has happened in the past is a load of self-serving crap. You've got no choice but to receive your punishment for the rest of your life. I'm not really old or wise enough to say that's life, like some sort of authority on the matter. But at the very least, I think I'm better accustomed to living with suffering than you. Therefore, I will now arrogantly throw my conclusion in your face. Accept it gradually. By the way, the music when it's swelling while we're talking about it. Oh, you asked me to kill you just now, right? Well, that ain't happening. Not attached to your life?
私の命が欲しいって言うなら、ユージにあげる。
I see. Alright, I accept. From this moment forth, you're going to live the rest of your life for my sake. There? Okay. I guess. It's just some crappy life you picked up off the ground in the mountains, right? Can't be worth that much to you. I'll take it off your hands.
でも...
What now? You have a problem? Too bad. You gave your life to me, so I can do whatever the hell I want with it. You have no right to complain.
なんだろう、もうちょっとわかりやすく説明してもらえると嬉しいんだけど。
Yeah. Nothing to explain. Nothing really is going to change. Just keep doing what you're doing. Live for my sake. Devote yourself to me. I'm the king. You're my pet dog. Got it? Basically the same as how it usually is.
変わらないってどういうこと?
Do you have a wad of marshmallow fluff for your brain? Jesus. Fine. I'll put it in more simple and rude terms. God damn you! How dare you leave my sister to die? I'll never forgive you. You're my slave for life, understood? If you understand, bark like a dog, you filthy mutt! Amane, stay with me for the rest of your life. That's your punishment.
じゃあさ、もしかして私、ずっとユージのそばにいてもいいの?
I said that's your punishment! I just answered this question. Not only can you, you're going to. I'll smack you silly if you try to disappear on me. Keep that in mind.
ユージ
What now?
ユージ
Spit it out already. Also, I'm not a submachine gun. Fucking. Whoops. You know something? You always make this ridiculously ugly face when you cry. Fucking Yuji, dude, he doesn't. There. Okay, this is getting annoying already. I'll allow you 5 minutes maximum.
ユー
Yuji's actually the best, by the way. If I was nice, it'd hardly be a punishment. So I look up at the sky through my room, I guess. As Amane breaks down into tears, I wrap my arms around her and hug her tightly to my chest. There's only one way I can save this woman. And it's not by trying to break the curse of her past. I'll simply accept everything. Knowing her past, her trauma, I'll accept it all. I'll provide her with the punishment she needs. There's no other way. Someday, Amane will surely come to understand. The only person she needs to ask for forgiveness is herself. Until then, I'll be a burden for her to bear. I'll ease her guilt. I'll be her punishment. I'll offer her forgiveness, even if no one else in the world does. No matter what anyone says, I'll give her absolution. If I simply stay by her side, someday her penance will reach its end. I know it will. The day will surely come when Amane can forgive herself. Where am I? Oh, Jesus. Oh, no. Please. Please. I need to see something before I end this fucking video. Even after those revelations, there hasn't been any major changes in my life with Amane. The only real differences that come to mind, Amane's calmed the fuck down on the clingy demands for aggressive sex, and I've started to notice subtle shifts in her emotions. From what Sakaki tells me, oh god, this has been going on frequently even before now. But when something happy or fun happens, Amane tends to get a slightly brooding look on her face. Now that I understand these signs of her self-reproach and guilt for what they are, I admonish her. You're allowed to smile. Sometimes I outright order her to do so. And although I know she's still thinking a cowardly insect like me has no right to be happy, she always manages to give me a sweet, artful smile in response. Amane once told me I had a crappy excuse for a smile, and now I understand why she saw through it so easily. She's a far more experienced master at the forced smile. Yup, might sound like a joke, but it seems like Takezono Private Academy actually had formal lessons on how to push your face into an elegant smile. Kazuki had always been even worse at smiling than I was. Imagining her desperately trying to contort her face into a friendly simper is absurdly amusing. Hey Amane, tell me something. That smile lesson or whatever, I assume Kazuki participated in as well? Tell...
どうだろう。私 D 組だったから A 組の和樹とは授業が一緒になることはなかったし。
Damn it! I wanted to start laughing. But seriously, just thinking about it makes you laugh. Kazuki curtsying politely in time to the teacher's piano with a beaming smile on her face. Oh, I'd pay money to see that one. And maybe I will later down the line.
確かに。っていうか、和樹のそんな姿を見たら逆に笑えないような気もするけどね。
You're probably right. Come to think of it, when Kazuki was still a grade schooler, I did see her practicing her smile once.
嘘？あの和樹が？
Not sure when this was exactly, but Kazuki came to deliver something I'd forgotten in my classroom. A classmate came up to me afterward and asked me about her. Why's your big sister always so cranky? In this kind of scared little voice. Of course, I said that's normal for her. When I returned home, I told Kazuki, one of the kids in my class thinks you're kind of scary. I guess it was a bit of a shock, even for her. She started practicing her smile in front of the mirror after her bath. Funny, right?
そうだね。
No, it really is funny. You're allowed to smile yourself, you know. And fuck, even laugh.
分かってる。6年も前のことだし、もう笑って話せる時期だってのは分かってるんだけどね。
You gotta take the good of a person, like enjoy the good memories and stuff. Smiling is the duty of those who are left behind. Please try.
でも私、和樹のことを思い出すと、やっぱり。
We should just like throw the curveball of that thought we had at her of she's probably not even like dead. Just throw the curveball and see how she reacts. No good, huh? From reading the contents of Amane's diary, I understand that she worshipped Kazuki like a god. Odds are, giving her my standard order to smile now would only worsen her suffering. To be honest, the topic of my little sister... Wait, why did I say little sister? That's big sister. Shh. What's happening to my brain? Brain? Yes? Why do you want Kazuki to be the little sister? I don't know. It's just how things work out, I guess. The fuck, Blizzard? The topic of... It doesn't even say big or little. My brain just puts words in there. For no fucking reason. Oh my god. The topic of my sister still stings a bit for me as well. But I guess I've developed my own way of coping with it. Amane, tell me something. Do you really believe Kazuki's dead? Yes! There it is!
それってどういう意味?
Well, pretty self-explanatory. Exactly what it sounds like. To be honest, I don't really buy it. Certainly she's dead on paper. And they did find something that was thought to be Kazuki's corpse at the site. Oh, they found a corpse? What do you mean thought to be? But I just can't believe she'd die that easily. You know what? Still 100% she's alive.
それは私だって信じたくはないけど。
But I mean, if she was alive, it's like 6 years since that incident. Why wouldn't she have, like... she has a reason. She has a reason. It's fine. She's totally alive. I'm gonna get into slightly gruesome territory here, alright? The corpse of Kazuki they found on the site had been cut into pieces. You know that as well, right? Okay. But for some reason, they never found her head. What do you think of that? What? What does that mean? What? She gave you a hint herself, didn't she? A long time ago, Kazuki told me about a swindle where careful cutting and pasting makes 10,000 yen notes into 11 slightly smaller ones. And she showed you a similar trick with 11 carats. Oh? Corpses aren't any different. Just as an example, if you happen to make 10 of them, have 10 of them lying around, you could probably make 11, don't you think?
嘘。だってそんなことが人間と人参は違うよ。
She's totally alive. She's totally alive. Don't even game. Not to Kazuki, they aren't.
じゃあ、カズキは生きてるの?
I'm not saying she is. I'm saying she might. I don't know that. If she is alive, why hasn't she shown herself to us? It's all a mystery. That's what I'm thinking, but it's Kazuki. She has to have her reasons. But there's one thing I'm confident about. I don't think Kazuki would accept death that easily. And she always did have a number of personalities, characters she'd play. By now, she might well be casually going about her business somewhere as a totally different person. I can't shake that feeling. At the time, 13 corpses were discovered at the crash site. Many of them had been horribly damaged. But the numbers matched. The investigators didn't have any reason to be suspicious, and the corpses were roughly identifiable. There was no point in DNA testing. Given the dismembered, partially consumed state of many of the bodies, a few missing parts wouldn't have inspired any serious doubts. And of course, Kazuki's head was never discovered. That's so fucking crazy. When they discovered the corpses, they did investigate the cause of death. But there was no DNA testing performed. Oh, she's totally alive. Totally alive. No, I'm just saying it's possible to think that way. It's not like I have any real evidence. That's why I was saying you gotta believe in Kazuki. Kazuki, occupation student. The original occupation student! Right, but look, Amane, I'm not seriously trying to push this theory on you. All I meant was, thinking Kazuki might still be alive somewhere might help you find the courage to... Were you not listening to a word I say? Oh my god. Where are you going all of a sudden? the fuck's happening? Apparently remembering something, Amane dashes off as if stung by a whip. I follow her as she flies up the stairs, throws open the door to her room, and begins rummaging around vigorously in her closet. Okay. Hello? Amane? Amane-san? Ugh, I don't use san for anything. Anyone home? Oh my god, she is frantic. What's this? Pulling out the storage case that had been carefully tucked away in the back of her closet, Amane takes out a sheaf of yellow memo paper wrinkled and stained by patches of dried mud. Even at a glance, I immediately recognize the familiar handwriting lining those pages. That's Kazuki's writing, isn't it?
それは和樹が私のために用意してくれた密林脱出メモだよ。
I take the leaves of paper, probably ripped out of a small notepad from Amane's hand. First, there's a rough map of the area around the camp. No doubt the product of Kazuki's independent investigations. She also included a number of methods to ascertain direction within the forest, including orientation by the stars. If your path ahead seems overly difficult, don't hesitate to take a detour, and when you think your physical strength may be failing you, take a rest. Use the time to discard items from your rucksack, beginning with the heavy and inessential. The soil is full of volcanic rock and dense materials and minerals, so the tree's roots are shallow and twisted. Also, their access to sunlight is irregular. For these reasons, the direction of their growth won't be a reliable navigation tool. Maintaining pressure on your ankles offers you some relief from swelling. Wear 2 sets of socks and pull them to the calf. Your lactic acid buildup will be less severe. Just don't expect this to offer much protection against leeches. Very methodical. That's Kazuki for you.
でね、ここ見て。
Oh, this is gonna blow blow everything out of the water. If you fail to escape, huh?
和樹が残したメモには脱出に失敗したら居留地に戻ってこいって書いてあって、和樹が非常食を隠した穴の位置が記された地図があったの。
Judging from the fact that she wrote these notes, Kazuki must have known from the start there was a good chance she'd be making you escape alone.
きっと和樹はこうなることを予想してたんだと思う。
Dude, Kazuki predicted everything that was gonna happen. Literal. But what made this come to mind all of a sudden?
あのさ、もしだよ。もし和樹が生きているとしたら、今和樹がどこにいるのかってヒントはここにあると思うんだよね。
Are we gonna go back to the fucking jungle? Oh my god. I don't wanna go there. Here? The scene of the accident?
そう。和樹が私に最後に残したものってきっとこの非常食を埋めた穴の中にあるんじゃないかな。
That's some smart thinking right there, Amane. And you're not the smart one.
和樹は事故の翌日、シャベルを抱えて一人で森の中に入っていった。あれってバスの中から回収した食料とかを埋めに行ってたんだと思うんだ。
And we just assumed she was doing number 2. And then she came back and said she was doing number 2, but she didn't.
和樹は時々一人でふっといなくなることがあって、ずいぶんトイレの近い子なんだなって思ってたけど、多分頻繁にその穴に何かを隠しに行ってたんじゃないかって。
I see. That sounds like the only realistic possibility of finding any clue that might lead us to Kazuki.
そう。それにもし和樹が死んでいたとしても、最後の遺品がそこに残されているってこと。
Oh god, she's gotta be alive. Come on.
ねえユージ、行ってみない？
I don't feel like we should go back. I don't want to go there. Go to the scene? That seems... I mean, you...
確かにまだきついかもしれない。苦しい思い出ばっかり詰まってる場所だしね。
That's where I found them fucking and eating. Oh, this gets real sad.
でもいつかは克服しなければいけないことだと思うし、それにユージが一緒に行ってくれるなら 分大丈夫だと思うんだ。
Yeah, if you got me around, shit, man, nothing's gonna happen to you. I'm a fucking badass. I see.
まあちょっとしたデートだと思ってさ。悪いけど付き合ってよ。
Hey, she said sorry. No, hold on. You're counting this fucking... I'm not gonna count this as a little date, okay? Yeah, alright. Oh, don't bring me to places that I don't want to go anywhere. Why is it so... Oh god, we're going. I don't want to go. Just want to... I mean, actually, I do want to go just because I want to see if Kazuki actually did leave something behind. I have a feeling, so I don't know what she would have left behind that would tell us that she's alive. Maybe like a note or something. But I feel like that's going to tell us whether she actually is dead or not. And I'm looking forward to that. I just hope she's alive. She's amazing. She's an amazing character, to be honest with you. That like small amount of time that we actually spent with her, like, I really like her character, and I hope she's alive.